This session we will be learning how to create walls, windows and doors in our project. And before we begin, if you actually open the project that you created the previous session, if your screen looks different from mine, I need you to go to the project browser at the bottom left hand corner. I need you to double click on floor plans level 1. So make sure you are double clicking on floor plans level 1, and then you should be able to see the same view that I have at the moment. So we're going to create some walls, but before that, I just want to introduce you a little small things that you need to know. Is when you click on different tabs, there are actually different tools available over here. Okay, so now that we are creating a wall, you need to go to the architectural tab. This is the first tab on the left hand side, and then you will see a wall tool. And when you hover your mouse above a tool long enough, you will see a description or more information on what the tool is actually going to do. Okay, sometimes Revit also provides you graphical information that allows you to better understand what the tool is actually going to help you with. Okay, you also notice that beside the wall text over there is a bracket, WA bracket. So anything in bracket, okay, is your keyboard shortcut for the particular tool. So let's say you forgot where the icon of the wall is. You can just press WA on your keyboard to activate the wall tool. Okay, do not press WA together, but press W first, then followed by A. Okay, so for now, my mouse is already on the wall tool. I'll just simply do a left click. When you do a left click, afterwards, you are already in the wall tool. You'll notice that your cursor is changing, and at the top over here, okay, it turns slightly greenish, and it says place wall. Okay, it means that you are already in the wall tool. To start creating your wall, simply do a left click. Okay, do a left click. This is the start of my wall. Do a left click again. So you can place wall by simply clicking on the left click. Okay, so for now you will see, okay, on my cursor you'll notice two dimensions that are made available to me. One is angular dimension, one is a length dimension. Okay, so you notice that the length dimension is actually a bit darker than the angular dimension. Okay, so when that's the case, you can always type in a number on your keyboard. For example, I want this particular piece of wall to be 15 meters. I can type 15000 and I press the enter button on my keyboard. Okay, again, so whenever you move your mouse to whatever direction, maybe if it's not 90 degrees, you can, change the direction and you can key in the value, and Revit will always create a wall that follows the mouse or direction of your mouse from your previous point. So for this instance, I type in 15000. Instead of going upwards, it basically moves diagonally. Okay, so what I need to do is to create an enclosed region. Okay, so it doesn't have to be the same shape as I am. You can basically design your own layout. You will notice that when I'm creating a wall, okay, it always seems to start from the previous point. Okay, it always seems to be creating from the previous point. In order for us to stop that from happening, you need to click on the escape button on your keyboard once. So escape button, I can start from a new position. Escape once, start from a new position. Escape once, start from a new position. Okay, so you can always press escape once to start from a new location. And after you're done creating all your walls, or you're done using the wall tool, you need to press the escape button twice. So again, whichever command you're in, or whichever tool that you're using, after you're done using the tool, you need to press the escape button twice on your keyboard. So escape twice, and now I'm exiting the wall tool. I'm no longer able to build more walls right now unless I click on the wall icon again. So I have some walls in my project that I do not need for the training session. So to delete an element, simply hover above the element. So I'm hovering above this wall over here. When it's in blue in color, do a left click and then press the delete button. So again, hover above the object, it will be highlighted in blue. Do a left click to select it, delete, select it, delete, and I'm basically going to delete all the unnecessary walls in my project. Okay, so I'm going to delete all of the walls in my project. And next, we're going to create some doors in our project. Okay, the door is under architectural tab just beside the wall tool. Okay, so if I hover long enough, you can again see more information about what the tool does. And the keyboard shortcut for creating a door, as you can see, is bracket DR bracket, which means that the shortcut is DR. Okay, so I will go and click on the icon. And after you click on the icon, you notice that you're not able to do a left click. When you do a left click on the layout, you realize that there is no doors being created. So I'm doing a lot of left click over here, but no doors appearing in my model. However, the moment you move your cursor closer to a wall, you will see that Revit provides you an indication of where your model will be. Okay, so when Revit provides you the indication and you're satisfied with the position of your wall, just simply do a left click. Okay, so I'm creating multiple pieces of doors in my project. Okay, so find some place some doors in your project. After you're done placing your doors, again, to exit from the command, I need to press the escape button twice. Escape twice, and now I'm no longer building more doors in my project. Let's say if your doors are on the wrong orientation, for example, if you want to flip it outwards, inwards, or the opposite direction, simply click on the door and press the space bar. Okay, click on the door, press the space bar, and you can see it changes the orientation of the door. Okay, simply click on any door that you want to change orientation, press the space bar. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is to create windows. The Windows icon is, or the Windows tool is beside the door tool. Simply left click on the Windows icon once. Okay. And similar to doors, you realize that you cannot place a window on a white empty space. So you always have to find a wall to place your windows and doors. Okay, so create some windows in your project. When you're done, press the escape button twice. So now you realize that we just created some elements that requires a wall to be created. It cannot be created on a white space or a blank space. So basically, we call the door and window a hosted element. So a hosted element requires a host, and in this case, a door and a window requires a wall as their host. Without a wall, you cannot build or model any doors or windows at all. So now I'm going to introduce you to the properties menu. Okay, we're going to find out some properties of the object that we do have that we just recently created. So for example, if I want to find the properties of my wall, simply move over to the wall, do a left click. When it's highlighted in blue, on the left hand side, you will see the information generated for you. You can see that the wall, at least for me, I'm using a 200 mm wall. Yours might be different. It's all okay. But basically, the information is here. If I scroll down a little bit, I can see the length of my wall, the area of my wall, as well as the volume of my wall. And you notice that I didn't actually key in this value, okay, and I didn't execute another step to retrieve all these values. All these are done by Revit. And let's say if you want to change the information, for example, you're going to change the length, you realize that you're not able to do so, as these are all grayed out. Okay, the cells are grayed out, and you are not allowed to change the data over here. So this is one core aspects of BIM. Okay, all these data must always be derived from the model as long as it's possible, which means that I or no other users is able to change the value. Like what I mentioned, you cannot change the length, you cannot change the area, you cannot change the volume. All these are calculated by Revit, and a user is not able to change this value. That makes the data always accurate because it's done by a software. Okay, you can click on the door. Okay, click on the door, and you have the door properties. You can have the door size as well, and if you click on the window, there's the window sizes as well. So usually in architecture, you notice that, or you see that, at least for doors and windows, the first dimension is your width, the second dimension is your height of the door. Again, width of about 400 mm and a height of about 600 mm windows that you're using in your project. And don't worry that if your windows and doors that you just created are of a different size from mine. The next thing I want to show you, let's say, for instance, you want to change the size of your door. You can simply click on the door that you want to change. On the top left hand corner, simply do a left click. You will have a drop down menu of the available door sizes or family types in your project. Okay, so you can change to any sizes. You can change the width or 760, some 660 as well. So basically pick any one of these options that you like. So for this instance, I'm going to pick a door that is pretty much smaller than the current one of about 760 mm width. So I just do a left click, and you'll notice a small change in your model. The model is being updated to the new size that you just chosen. Okay, or new type that you just chosen. Okay, it will be the same for your window. Click on the window, click on the drop down menu. For this window, you actually do have more sizes available for you, or if you don't, then we will learn about it in the next lesson. Subsequent lesson, we'll learn how to bring in more different types of windows. So I have a fixed glass window. I have some windows that have a grill in the middle over here. I have some top hung window as well. So if you don't have, don't worry about it. We'll bring all these windows in other lessons. But basically, you have by using the drop down menu, you can see what are the families that are brought into your project, and these are the options available to use immediately. Okay, so you can choose a different size. Let's say if you select a door and you realize that these sizes that is provided to you over here, none of which meets your requirement. Let's say your client wants a door that is of 1.5 meter in width, so Revit does not offer you in a default template. Okay, you can always create a new size. So I'm going to guide you to create a new size of doors that you can use in your project. So for now, just press the escape button twice on your keyboard. To create a new size, simply click on any of your doors that you want to change size. So for this instance, I'm going to select this door I have over here, and instead of clicking on the drop down menu, I click on edit type instead. After which a type properties menu will appear, and I need you to click on duplicate. Again, a smaller pop-up menu will appear asking you for the name of this model that you want to create. So for example, if my client wants a 1.5 meter width door, I just type 1500, and maybe I'll just change the height to a 2.1 meter over here. You should type your name and you press OK. And if I were to press the OK button at the bottom, the model will not update, even though it says 1.5 times 2.1. If I press the OK button right now, it will not update the model. If I want the model to be updated, make sure to change the parameter. So in these are your type parameters. This is your parameters on the left and the parameters values on the right. Under dimensions, you should be able to see your height as well as your width. Okay, so we need to change this value to match the value on top over here that you specify. So width, I'm going to change it to 1500. For height, I'm going to change it to exactly 2.1 meters. Okay, after which you just need to press the OK button. So you will notice that the door actually changes in size over here, and basically the model is updating, the wall is updating as well. You can see Revit automatically cuts the wall to match the door sizes. Okay. So what you see right now is actually a parametric model. So the door that we just created a new size from is a parametric model. The reason why we call this a parametric model is because it changes according to the user's value. So if a user is going to type in 2000, the width of the door will update to 2000. If I need a 1000 door and I type 1000 and the model changes, then again it is a parametric family, a parametric model. It always has the capability to adjust to a user's input. Let's say if you were to duplicate a family like we did just now, and you key in a different value, of course, and you realize that the model doesn't change. So when you key in a different value and the model doesn't change, it means that the model is non-parametric. Okay, so the model that we use right now, the doors, I know it's parametric because I typed in 1.5 and the actual model changed to 1.5. Okay, so that's for this session. We created a wall, windows, some doors, and we're able to create new sizes of doors for ourselves. Okay, I need you to click on the save. Okay, save your project, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you.